What's going on, guys? It's Matt and welcome to Downshift. 2019 marks a brand new generation for BMW's Benchmark 3 Series. What used to be a lively and engaging driving experience, the F30 generation kind of missed the mark with that. Enthusiasts and loyalists were saying it was a little bit limp, it was a little bit uncommunicative. So let's see if this G20 new generation can put the ultimate back in the driving machine. So let's jump right into the looks. The grille on this 3 Series is the first active kidney grille ever to be found in a 3 Series, and no, I'm not going to address the inflated size. Moving down, we have the M Sport bumper up front, giving it a much more menacing and aggressive stance, but it still retains a classic 3 Series shape with a longer hood. As we move around to the profile, this is where things get really familiar. The silhouette looks very, very similar to the outgoing 3, and you have these nice 20-inch wheels. And then moving to the back, this is probably my favorite part. The looks are sharp, and I love the taillights. They have a nice smoked effect, and the LEDs look fantastic. And then moving down, the exhaust is subtle, but it's dual, and it has nice little subtle crackles and pops. Moving up and into the trunk, cargo capacity is pretty good. You get a decent sized trunk, and while this one is missing the vanity cover, you can see that it holds an entire BMW battery. Moving up into the rear seat, legroom is improved by a very generous, almost an entire inch. But you also get vents, chargers, and a bunch of other stuff in the back. However, you do not get peasant blockers. Now the front is obviously where you spend most of your time, and the comfort up here is great. The seats are comfortable, but also decently bolstered, which hints at the sporting nature here. For an added cost, you can option a glass shifter that looks really, really good. The normal one is black, it's gloss black, and it looks kind of cheap, so I would definitely spring for the glass shifter. Now the thing that you'll interact with most is the M Sport steering wheel, which is fantastic. I absolutely loved it in the M5, which was the first time I experienced it, and I've loved it in every other BMW that I've been in since. And looking up and out the windshield and through the side windows and the rear, visibility is fantastic from all four sides. Moving on to technology and features, this is the biggest story of this new 3 Series. It's very techy, almost to the point of being distracting. The Hey BMW voice command is here, and it's almost as good as Hey Mercedes, but what it does do better than the Merc is that it has 2 microphones, so it knows exactly which side is requesting what command. Apple CarPlay is here, but Android Auto people are still left out. I'm officially calling droid shaming. Apple CarPlay is also wireless, which some people like, but some people also don't. The interface of the menus in the iDrive system is new, and I think I like it better. It's got a lot more stuff. But is that necessarily a good thing? You can also get gesture controls for a bunch more money, but don't. They don't work that well, and it's a waste of your money. I don't know that you'd ever really need it, but I thought it was super cool. This thing will actually remember how you pulled into a parking spot, and you hit a button and it will take you back out automatically, steer assist and everything. Additionally, the safety equipment such as adaptive cruise and lane keep assist work so well that you can even take your hands off the wheel and have the car drive itself under a certain speed. And lastly, one super interesting thing on this new 3 Series is that it has a Vitalize program. And it's funny because it's called out by saying, "Hey BMW, I'm tired." And what it'll do is it'll blast cold air at your face and pump Euro EDM techno jams at you. Ultimately, the system is super comprehensive and it's quick, so it's really nice. I just don't know if it's too much and detracts from the ultimate driving machine. Now let's talk about quality. The cabin is nice, but the design is kind of sterile and boring to me. You do get ambient light, which is nice, but again, it's not as elegant as the Mercedes or the Audi. There's almost no piano black, but oh yeah, except it's right there on the thing you interact with most, your gear selector, aside from your steering wheel, obviously. But in any case, let's use that gear selector and the steering wheel to go for a drive. So first thing you need to know is that you absolutely need to option the M Sport package on this thing. You're going to get better looking bumpers, just an entirely better looking body overall. You're also going to get upgraded brakes and suspension, which is definitely easy to feel behind the wheel. The M Sport package does nothing for the exhaust note. However, you will get little subtle pops and bangs on liftoff from the throttle, which is actually, in my opinion, a bit better than what you get in some of the other cars from BMW, like the M5, and even what I'm hearing about the M340. It's just a little bit too much. You know, it's a synthesized sound, it seems like. They pump it into the cabin, obviously, but this in the 330 is a little bit more toned down. You don't really hear it unless you put your window down and you're near the exhaust. You can hear it more directly. Then you can hear the pops and burbles, and then I think it's good. Take a turn here, give it a little go. Pulls confidently up past 6,000 RPM. One thing that the M Sport package has nothing to do with, however, is the B46 engine under the hood here. This is BMW's turbocharged 2-liter 4-banger, and it is up about like 7 or 8 horsepower to 255 horsepower. One thing, I guess the main attraction, however, is the 295, almost 300 pound-feet of torque, making this thing extremely peppy. All that torque is going to go through BMW's lovely tuned, it's fantastic, it's like my favorite part of the car, lovely tuned ZF 8-speed automatic transmission. It just puts power down, it gets all that power down to all 4 wheels. Since this is the X-Drive and you feel it, it feels so light and nimble. That's one of the things that a transmission can do for a car. That's one of the things that really stands out to me behind the wheel of these BMWs, is that the transmission really affects the drivability and the experience of the car. So the transmission works so quickly that it not only makes the car feel extremely quick, but it makes it feel lighter, more agile, nimble, and peppy, which is what I really like to see in a sports sedan. I mean, this is the base car, people. Now all this torque and the snappy transmission and 4 wheels of grip are gonna get you to 60 in about 5.2 seconds. Now you do have several different drive modes, one of them being Eco Pro, and in Eco Pro you will achieve just under 35 miles to the gallon highway, which is pretty incredible. I mean, this is still a turbocharged 2-liter, and it's 4-cylinder, and it gives you almost 35 mpg highway. I mean, this is still a peppy, strong engine. I'm impressed. However, Eco Pro is not the drive mode you want to be in. You want to be in Sport, because remember at the beginning of the video when I was talking about the previous generation and how it was a little flaccid, a little numb, not a whole lot of feedback. That's what everyone was complaining about. This car fixes a lot of that. Notice I didn't say all that, but it fixes a lot of it. The new M Sport steering wheel is fantastic. I absolutely loved it in the M5. It's perfectly bolstered. It's super thick. I've loved it in every BMW that I've driven with this steering wheel since then. It's just a fantastic feel behind the wheel. And the feel of the steering is much better. The weighting is up, but that's not all. You actually do get a bunch more feedback from this steering wheel. It's not like BMWs of old. It's not going to be an E46, but it is really good. It's a lot better than it was before. Okay, we're going to pitch it in at a reasonable speed. Yep. Okay, so that was interesting, actually. The turn-in was fantastic. It was precise, it was direct. I got some feedback. I went over a little bit of a pothole, and I could feel it in the wheel. So dynamically, this thing is much better than it was before. The previous generation has nothing on this new one. They fixed a lot of the problems that people were complaining about previously. However, is this new G20 enough to be called the ultimate driving machine? I don't know about ultimate, but much improved is a very good name. And I'm being a little facetious, but this car is quite good. I mean, the power is absolutely there, especially for being in this class. The steering is much more communicative, it's much better. And dynamically, this thing just corners extremely well. Very impressed. So with that, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. As always, hit that thumbs up, leave a comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell, patreon.com/downshiftmke, and I'll see you next time.